Morning.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Orange County Funding Corp meeting for November 19th, 2025. The time is 5 p.m. And I'd like to call the meeting to order and welcome everybody to this meeting. If we could start with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, please, Bill.
Jeffrey Christ.
Here.
Dean Tamburri.
Here.
Susan Walsky.
Here.
Linda Muller.
Here.
Giovanni Palladino.
Here.
Mark Green.
Here.
Dr. Vincent Oda.
Here.
7 of 7 members present. For staff, myself, Bill Fioravanti, Kelly Riley, Marty Barras, Mr. Matt Dagley on the AV. Our general counsel, Rudy Zoda, is here, and Mr. Brian Sandridge, our state monitor. That is everybody.
Thank you. We do have proof of notice in our package on page 2 for this meeting. And page 3 are the minutes from our previous meeting of October 23rd, 2025. If anybody has additions, corrections, or a motion to approve, please speak up.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Giovanni,
Second.
second by Linda. Thank you. Anything else on additions, corrections? I'll call for the motion. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Thank you. New business. I'd like to start with the October 2025 financials and then the October-November payables for the funding court. Mark Green, please.
Very, very short and sweet. Nothing out of the ordinary really with our budget except 2 things. One, you'll notice there's a $1,200 expense recovery. That is from someone else continuing to pay down the loans that we originated during COVID. That is associated with the $300 right above it because that's the fee we had to pay for the collection agency, so we netted out $900 there. And then if you'll also notice, almost all the way down, you'll see a $6,910. That was almost all for legal fees because we got dragged into the situation with the former hockey team, the Vipers, and the Poughkeepsie Civic Center. And I will repeat it again. It shows that no good deed goes unpunished. So thank you for everyone that got us involved in that. And that is, and then the only other question, we have a T-bill that comes due in December, so we'll address it at our December meeting.
And that covers the financials and payables, I believe. Would anyone care to make a motion? I know the committee recommended the board approve these documents.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Dean, thank you. Second to that motion.
I'll
Susan.
second.
Susan, thank you. Any other questions, additions, corrections? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried. Susan Welski, the auditing committee report. You had a meeting today.
Yes, we did, and we reviewed the 3 proposals for the 25 through 2027 firm to conduct our audits. It is the recommendation of the audit committee that we move forward with PKF O'Connors Davies for that position, and that's the recommendation.
And we had proposals from 2 other firms.
Yes, and they were given to the whole board, and
They're
we
in
did
the packet,
discuss
yes.
them. It came down to price. Knowledge of our processes that are done here, which is already being done by PKF O'Connor Davies, and familiarity with the services that we provide and our type of auditing that would be required. We felt that they were best suited to perform that task.
Thank you. Any questions for Susan on that process? And we need a motion, I believe, to approve the recommendation of PKF O'Connors Davies.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Giovanni, second to that motion. Doc Odoc, thank you. Any last questions? All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. That motion is carried to put PKFO Davies, O'Connor Davies back on our auditing
For the
team.
next 3 years, yep.
3 years. Very good. And lastly, for this meeting, we have a proposed meeting schedule for both 2026 and 2027. We could approve it today. I suggested to Bill that we take a look at our schedules and do the final approval next month in case you see conflict somewhere with some other commitment. I didn't get a chance to review that as closely as I would like. Is that okay with everybody?
Fine, I like the optimism.
So if you see anything here over the next few weeks, let Bill know, and otherwise we'll consider these dates for approval at the December meeting, which is, when's our December?
17th.
17th of December, right. Any other business that needs to come before us today for the Orange County Funding Court?
Yes, sir.
Motion to adjourn
Motion.
by Dean, second to that motion? You
I'll
good,
second
Jim?
that.
Oh, Susan?
Susan's fine.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Meeting adjourned at 5:06.
One.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Orange County Industrial Development Agency Board Meeting for November 19th, 2025. I'd like to call the meeting to order and welcome the directors and all our guests to the meeting today. Roll call, please, Bill.
Jeffrey Christ.
Here.
Dean Tamburri.
Here.
Susan Walsky.
Here.
Linda Muller.
Here.
Giovanni Palladino.
Here.
Mark Green.
Here.
Dr. Vincent Odock.
Yeah.
7 of 7 members present. For staff, Bill Fioravanti, Kelly Riley, Marty Barras, Matt Dagley on our AV, our general counsel Rudy Zoda is with us, and our state monitor Brian Sandage.
Thank you, Bill. I note that proof of notice for this meeting was provided. It's on page 2 of our packet. And with that, we'll move into consideration of the minutes from October 23rd, 2025. They start on page 3. If anybody has comments, corrections, or a motion to accept.
I'll make the motion.
Motion to accept the minutes from our last
Yes.
meeting by Dean. Second to that motion, Mark Green, thank you. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried. And moving right into our committee reports, Susan, you're listed first off on this agenda. Walsky.
Yes, so as before, the audit committee did request proposals for our auditing committee, our outside auditors. We reviewed 3 different proposals. We weighed them on experience, price, as well as their ability to handle the job. After having reviewed them, and we have decided to recommend to this committee that we continue on with PKF O'Connor Davies as the official auditing corporation for the Orange County IDA.
Thank you, Susan. Any questions for Susan on this? And this is the same proposal as covered the OCFC.
Yes, sir.
Would anyone like to make a motion to take the committee's recommendation and approve PKF O'Connor's Davies?
I move.
By Doc Odock, thank you. Second to that motion,
I'll second it.
Linda Muller, second. Thank you. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Thank you. And that brings us to Finance Committee, please, Mark.
All right, so there is a bunch of things, so if I can refer you to the budget versus actuals. I don't know exactly what page that is in the packet.
Page 8.
It is page 8, okay.
Yeah.
So, Bill, please jump in.
I will.
Just a couple of the highlights. We did get a application in, that's the application fee. That fee is actually $2,500, which is our standard app fee, but they also included the legal check in there, which you'll see about halfway down is the legal pass-through. So that's why that 2,500 matches up with that 5,000. Also, you'll see other income. There was a mistake in the conflict scenario, so that they paid us back some money, and then there was also a $1,000 termination fee. I believe it was Satin Foods.
Satin Foods termination, yeah, $1,000 fee. And if I could just provide a little more clarity on the other piece, it's Zarin Steinmetz is our conflict counselor. Remember, Brad Schwartz has been on a couple times about GTI, the solar field, the easements, and this, that, and the other. They sent us bills for their work on those projects, and we paid them, but they really should have been paid by the applicant. So we got reimbursed for that amount, so that's why it's $3,200 of that is from that.
Also, a little bit down, you can see interest earnings of just under 138,000. That was from a CD that came due, that has since been rolled over. If we go down into fees, most of it is rather standard until you get to professional fees. 6,500 of that, or 6,800 of that is Brown and Weintraub that we have just hired. And then I believe the other part of that was for Vision Orange County, the second to last payment there. And I understand, Susan, you were at the event.
Yes, it
And
was.
they spoke nicely of us.
They did. We have to thank Assemblyman Marr, who gave us a nice shout out for it.
Well, thank you. Down a little bit further, you'll see a fee of, for marketing and PR. We had the Nikki Jones Agency do some work for us, so that's what that 4273 is. Bill, can you talk a little bit about the, what is it here? The 9,224, I believe that was some projects.
Yeah, that's legal counsel. I didn't bring the detail with me, but I can grab it in my office. That's from Blakely, Platt and Schmidt, our general counsel. It was, most of that was for September billing, I think $8,000 in September. Just a very busy month with Fast New York, multiple projects, reviewing all our policies. They came here and had some meetings about just operational things that we're trying to iron out to make sure our processes are flawless. So it's just a very busy month, but all legitimate billing from Blakely, Platt for that month.
And then right underneath that is that 2,500 that I mentioned before, that was passed through for legal fees. And that is it for the budget. Any questions on that before we continue on? All right, then if you go to the next page, you'll see our CDs and T-bills. There's really nothing to discuss here, as our next one doesn't come due until December 26th, so we will present to the board in our December meeting about what we're going to do with the rollover there. And then the final page is really just kind of looking at our different vendors. And you can see a lot of the things that I've already mentioned to you as far as professional fees. The one about halfway down, you'll see HRP Associates. That's brownfield assessment grants that we'll get reimbursed for shortly. But that's actually an exciting expense as we continue to work throughout Orange County and try to reclaim some of these quote-unquote lost properties. I believe that's it, unless anyone has any questions.
Any questions for Mark? If not, I would suggest we take the recommendation from the committee and approve the October 2025 financials as well as the October-November payables. Would anyone care to make that motion? Giovanni?
I move the motion.
Thank you. Second to that motion?
I'll second that.
Susan
Chairman.
Wolski. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same? Motion carried. Thank you. And my chairman's report, I did have a neat experience attending the New York State Innovation Summit in Rochester, New York. It was on October 29th and 30th of last month. It's really overseen and led by the Empire State Development, which is quite a process, and that's within the Division of Science, Technology, and Innovation. So lots of exciting things going on in New York. There's obviously a very strong commitment by the state related to innovation, bringing projects in their infancy into proving that they work, and then presumably commercial production. And we did hear from a, can we say this name, Dr.?
No, I cannot. Omkaram Nalamasu.
Okay, thank you, Bill.
Doctor.
He was very interested. It's the Applied Materials Incorporated, a very large company with 27-point-something billion in revenues.
Wow.
They're heavy into semiconductors, producing materials that are used in those semiconductors. And I guess I sort of knew, but he pointed out huge users of these semiconductors and chips are electric vehicles, AI coming up, and clean energy. And the computing demand is outstripping, and he termed it as the world's energy supply. And I know we hear that in the United States, but he put it on a more worldly basis. So that was pretty fascinating. And I think it was him that talked about smart eyeglasses that are gonna have various cameras and ways you can read information. He kind of compared it to the development of the smartphone, that this is another big wave that's gonna change how we interact, how we learn, which is the first time I had heard anything about that. And in a breakout session, they talked about cell and gene therapy. It's really the next generation of medicine's revolution, and talked about how some of this gene work has to be done at a very refined temperature level, as well as the right level of oxygen. It makes me think about storing apples, but that environment is critical to doing some of these gene therapies. Let's see, what else did I have here? And I kind of started off with, but in a breakout session, they further explored innovation companies and how you bring them from just an idea into reality and prove that they work. And there's even some reach out outside of New York, outside of the United States, to bring some of those ideas into New York. So it was very, very stretching of my brain. And I guess the last thing I wanted to mention, a couple times it was mentioned, is quantum computing. And I realize that's kind of another generation of computing, but they keep saying it's a ways out there. And I guess it's so sensitive to many things that they're having trouble preventing errors in this computing. I don't even know exactly what that means. They compared it to reliability. So it's another huge step, but it's taking time to actually get to the finished product. So.
I should mention on top of that, just for people that don't know, IBM's global headquarters for quantum computing is at their site in town of Poughkeepsie.
Really?
So that's gonna be an epicenter for quantum, which is
Wow.
a huge, huge thing for Mid-Hudson.
Yeah. That's my report, unless someone has a question. I enjoyed going and hearing, and it's bound to affect every county in New York State in some way. Bill, your report?
Yes, thanks. Just following up on that, I also last week went to a conference. It's a new conference developed by New York State EDC. It's called their Policy and Leadership Institute. It was in central New York in Verona. I attended. It was basically a 24-hour event. A lot of updates on energy in New York State, the future of that. A seminar on the DEC wetlands remapping, which really does impact development. And a very interesting breakout session on communications for economic development organizations, including IDA. And I will follow up a little later in the agenda about that. Second, I want to mention that Anshin, on Friday, released their latest six-month report to the Inspector General's office. You all have a copy. Brian, I did want to ask you, Anshin usually gives us the opportunity where they'll send us a draft and let us respond with our comments. If there's anything now that this is published, if it's picked out that we think does need to be addressed that maybe I missed, how would we do that? We let you know and you may include it in the next report?
I definitely would include it in the next report, and if it was something that was timely and needed to be, we could reissue.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, all right, we'll address that with you if something comes up, thank you. Also, I'll just touch on our EPA Brownfields Assessment Grant. We have conducted phase 1 reports, which is basically a desk study, a paper documentation study of sites of what we know about contamination, uses, this, that, and the other. We've issued 2 of those, one for the Orange County Fairgrounds property in the town of Wallkill, the other for the former Colmar Labs site on Skyline Drive in the city of Port Jervis. We're working very closely with the municipalities, they're very excited about this work. The other phase that we're about to enter into is the public, connection with the public outreach on informing municipal leaders, county leaders, as well as the general public about the nature of this grant and our work, what we're working on, what we're looking at. And then there will be subsequently a planning phase, which we do incorporate some public feedback on that as to what do they think that the redevelopment of these properties should look like. So it's an important piece of our project and excited to get to it. We have had a little delays getting some approvals of, again, we've studied 2 sites, 3 on our top list that we have to go to. We're waiting for approval from EPA on a couple of those. Their staff has been decimated, and then they were affected by the shutdown recently, so we had a little slowdown at the EPA level, but otherwise they're great to work with. We have, Mr. Green talked about our last bill from our Qualified Environmental Specialist, HRP. When we pay those bills, we immediately submit the vouchers to the EPA for reimbursement, and we're getting that money immediately. Worst case, the next day. Even during the shutdown, we got it the next morning. So that has been good and not put us in a cash flow crunch. So that continues to go really well. Excited about that. I was going to mention Vision Hudson Valley. Ms. Walski talked about it. Thank you for representing us at Vision Hudson Valley's breakfast. Is it just this past Friday?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. And we had conflicts, we couldn't make it, but they did unveil their quality of life report. I'm gonna send that all to you so you can see it. Electronically, you can view it. They are gonna print some copies, but I'll send you the
I
link.
have some in the car I can bring in.
That would be great if you had
Okay,
a
nice.
couple extra. So that's important. And last thing I was gonna mention, we have periodically done a holiday party, kind of a gathering. It's a busy year, there's a lot going on. We're gonna pass on it this year if you're okay with it. So we won't have a holiday gathering this year.
I'm good.
Okay? That's everything for me.
Thank you, Bill. Any follow-ups with Bill? Hearing none, I think we're moving down to the communication strategy with Nikki Jones,
Yes, kind of going back to what I said was covered.
page 94.
Right. What was covered at the New York State EDC conference. It's important for IDAs especially to be able to get their arms around proper positive communications with the public. Obviously, we've seen it. We've been the victim of misinformation and disinformation coming from various sources. And there's just a general lack of understanding about what IDAs do, why we do it, what's the truth, and dispelling some myths. We're doing a lot of social media, and I'm giving a number of presentations, but we need to be, and I discussed this in our budgeting meetings, we need to be more proactive. We need to be putting more positive stories out there about the impact that our projects are having. We need to educate people on some of the mistruths that are out there. So this is an agreement to work with Nikki Jones Agency based out of Port Jervis, helping to develop a communication strategy for the year, as well as a crisis communications plan, because unfortunately that does come up, where there's some issues that we need to quickly respond to. Also included in the proposal is management of our organic social media, working on us with PR issues, as we said, media relations beyond that, and doing some copywriting for us and project management. So that's all included. The agreement it does tie us in for a 6-month commitment, and then I have reminders set. We have to give them, I forget if it's 30 days notice before it gets re-upped for another 6 months. But I would like to work with them and see how that goes, and then kind of take it after 6 months, see where we are and see how effective the relationship has been. But it's important, looking for your support to be able to engage Nikki Jones Agency.
So this is for a 6-month contract?
It is essentially, yeah.
And the start date, if we approve?
Would be when I execute it,
Oh,
so
okay.
I do have a couple other questions I'd
Okay,
just like
yeah.
to ask them about, but, it could be as soon as tomorrow or Friday.
Okay. Any questions from the board on that?
I have one question. He said it's a 6-month contract, yet the fees that were given us were for an annual rate. Is that an annual 6 months or an annual 12-month rate?
The strategic communications plan is a one-time cost at that amount, $3,500, and then it's a monthly retainer at $2,000, but only committed to for up to 6 months. It is showing what the annualized amount is, but we're not committed to that.
Okay, I just wanted to confirm, thank you.
That's a great question.
Yeah, it is. Any other questions?
Yeah, Bill, but then we had a different company for a little bit doing some of this stuff, then we have, was,
We did, we worked with Capacity Consulting a couple of years ago. Around the time we were dealing with similar, issues in the public, so, we let it go for a little while, we're doing some things on our own, but, I frankly don't have the capacity to do what needs to be done, on my own, so we're gonna get some outside help again. But we did, you're right, very similar arrangement.
Anything else? Would anyone care to make a motion to approve that communications strategy with Nikki Jones?
I'll make that motion,
Susan,
Chairman.
thank you. Second by Mark Green. Any other follow-ups? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried. And on our meeting schedule, which is the same as we just spoke to with the OCFC, I might just mention, we would wanna clarify, the OCFC meeting in each case would come before the IDA, or do we not need to do that?
I don't think for the purpose of this,
Okay.
I think as long as this works for the board members, they know when
Okay.
they need to be here. But on our online calendar, in our meetings page, and on all our public notices that are put out there, we're very specific about when each meeting starts. And
Okay.
For most IDA meetings,
Mhm.
audit, finance, governance, we say on the notice that it will start immediately following the OCFC meeting
Okay.
with the same subject.
Good.
So it's pretty clear out there for the public. This is really for the board's use. If anyone wants the format a little differently, it's not clear for you, let me know, but I think to answer your question, I think it's, in that case, it's good as is.
Okay, excellent. And I would suggest we take a look at these dates and do the final approval at our December meeting, if that's okay with everybody.
yes.
Anything else that needs to come before us today?
I believe so.
Board members, we okay? Motion to adjourn, if anyone would care to make that
I'll
motion.
make that motion.
Susan, thank you. A second to that motion. Doc, thank you. All in favor of motion to adjourn, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion adjourned, or meeting adjourned.